Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Flavor of the Week, brought to you by Banditos, fresh, made daily. In Flavor of the Week, Kyle sits down with one of our local priests over 4 different episodes to sample variations of a favorite food or drink while they discuss the ins and outs of life as a priest.
This is Kyle Hyman. Welcome to Flavor of the Week, Part 3. I am here at the rectory of Father Bill Kummer. Thank you for being here, Father Bill.
Thanks, Kyle. Thanks for bringing another cupcake.
Most of our listeners will know Father Bill from Kummer's Corner, which you join us first Fridays, talk about whatever's on your mind, whatever's happening down at the corner. And I got to visit the corner.
You're in the corner today.
This is my first time in the rectory.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
We're kind of quiet here on this day, but I'm glad you're here.
I imagine during the school year, it's a lot more lively around here.
If you look out that window behind you, that is our school building.
Yeah.
So the voices of children can be heard in this building.
I bet. Well, we have already tried the Fruity Pebbles cupcake. We tried the chocolate peanut butter cupcake with like a vanilla icing on it. I believe you wanted to save the angel food cake for last.
Okay.
So we'll tackle the
I do have a question, though.
Vanilla.
I noticed when you bring in the cupcake in, you try to slice it so we can share some of it, but you never take the wrapper off. Is that because you like to challenge or trying to cut through it?
Is that the trick?
I have no idea. I was just asking you. You're an expert on cupcakes.
I'm holding a microphone in one hand, so I'm a little limited here in my...
All right. Well, you did a pretty good job there.
Thank you.
All right, so we're going to try this now?
Yeah.
I noticed that these gourmet cupcakes come with with quite a supply of what I would have called icing, but I guess the word is frosting in the real word. What do you think?
Yeah, they're very generous. Although the angel food cake doesn't have any icing. It looks like maybe a thin glaze.
Mm-hmm. When you bring that back, we'll try it. So this is sort of like plain cake. It is sweet, but the texture's fine. Do you like wedding cake?
That's actually what it made me think of.
Yeah.
It's very moist, vanilla, tastes like a wedding cake. Yeah.
And undoubtedly, I've sifted the flour twice before they bake the cake.
Is that the trick?
I think that's it.
Sifted the flour twice. You probably get a lot more wedding cake than I do.
It's been my custom over the years, I guess, at wedding times to either attend the rehearsal gathering and or the reception. So I go to receptions only for the cake.
Have you become a wedding cake connoisseur?
I like wedding cake. Yeah.
Any particular flavor?
This kind,
just a vanilla.
Fine flour.
The fine flour.
White with...
sifted twice.
And really, as I mentioned, I think last week, a cup of coffee would be... The next time you come by with cupcake... I'll remind you to put the coffee on.
Well,
I should have done it this week, but I
thought you said next time you wanted to do scotch.
No, not at this time of day.
I think at this point now I need to play back from the first episode, the time when you said scotch.
Thank you, Kyle. I'm pretty sure that was Andrea said that I had mentioned single malt scotch.
For the record.
For the record.
But next time.
Maybe.
Okay.
But single malt scotch if I had said it. Okay. Talk a little bit about parish things. And you had mentioned, as we concluded last time, about interesting stories of how parish life may have changed. I don't think there's much that I can point to as a difference in what we do and even how we do it. Especially maybe at my parish here at St. Joseph in Hessen Castle, I tease people that the names of our families in our pews are the exact same names that are on the gravestones behind the church.
Yeah.
Obviously get people moving in and out. It's a pretty mobile society. But there's also great stability in families here, which I love, because they can tell me the stories and things like that.
Yeah.
So anyway, to your point, I think if there's any difference between the beginning and now is that at the beginning I wasn't the pastor and now that I am. By that I mean there's always expectations of those who are in leadership about how things are done or how they should be done. One of the greatest challenges that I had is in my first place, the pastor only wanted to have morning masses. And he always wanted to do the children's mass, which was at 8 o'clock. and had me do Mass every day at 7:15. So I never felt kind of any freedom. There's always pressure, get this done, get this out, and all those things like that. So those kind of things are different, but that may just be one personality to another. You may note that God doesn't have a cookie cutter out of which he cuts the priest. We all
Right.
come with different personalities, different backgrounds, different talents, and also different shortcomings as well. But parish life, pretty much the same. People love their families, love their life. They try to deal with like spiritual weaknesses, which we all have to. They rejoice in the gifts they have. They take pride in parish life. They take pride, of course, in their families and their children. You're a parent yourself, and you know that that's kind of ingrained in you, and look to the parish school to provide safe environment, educational environment, and even a growth environment for your children. And those things don't ever change in my experience. Some parishes may have a more energetic spiritual life and have different programs that help people to grow spiritually, maybe because they're larger. Places like in Hessen Castle, we might have one or two programs that are running that help people or join them together. But again, the flow, the direction of parish life is, in my opinion, pretty much the same, to provide happiness, security, and a direction to eternal life. I mean, that's why we live in the sacraments. And I think it is the pastor's job and the people's job together is to grow in knowledge of how to pray better, make the liturgies as meaningful and as rich as it can possibly be. But I think that's always been the case,
As meaningful and as rich as they can be, what gives the liturgy meaning and richness?
First and foremost, faith. Secondly, I think it's a willingness of those who are in position of leadership, certainly the priest, but also the ministers who help, the music ministry for sure, to be sure that we're just not doing things by rote, but that each of these, especially Sunday worship, has been given some time so that we're just not always doing the same thing in the same way without any thought. We may do things exactly the same way, but we have to give it some thought. I always tell people that the glory of the Roman liturgy is that we always know what to do, what to say, when to stand. The most difficult thing about the Roman liturgy is that we always know when to stand, to say and do that. So our glory is also our burden. So we have to give some energy to that. Otherwise, we can just become flat.
Yeah.
You could sit in the pew more often than I do, so I don't know what you think.
Well, I think you've seen much more variety and diversity over the years and through different parishes, so I think it's interesting to get your perspective. We're talking with Father Bill Kummer here for Flavor of the Week, Part 3, as we try different cupcakes from a gourmet cupcake place. And
well, let's have another bite to see what it tastes like, and then we can go back. This is your side of the cupcake. Pretty good.
Crossing the line. Yeah, so the first one was the multicolored Fruity Pebbles topped, very sweet. I think we both preferred the second one over the first, which was the chocolate peanut butter cupcake. A little bit more richness, maybe less sweetness. And now I think we're getting back sweeter again. I don't know if it's as sweet as the Fruity Pebbles one, but we're back to the... If you need to go back to the Fruity Pebbles, we still got more there.
I suppose I could. There is some
vanilla here.
Some extra frosting on this side over here for you, Kyle, if you wanted. I know you ate all of yours.
I do like frosting, yeah. How do you think this ranks?
Well, I'm still going with the peanut butter cupcake.
This is very much like a wedding cake.
It's very nice. Well, we certainly appreciate Banditos sponsoring us and having the gourmet cupcake with us today.
Yeah. So, Father Bill, you have been, we mentioned, all kinds of different parishes across the diocese, but also I was kind of curious if things change in the diocese when a bishop changes. Do you see a big difference between say, Bishop Darcy versus Bishop Rhodes, and kind of how they want.
I think mentioned moments ago that there's no cookie cutter for the priests. I suppose the same is true for the bishops. They come, to minister, to do what they can from what the knowledge and the faith that they bring with us.
Mm-hmm.
So there are little differences, of course, but nothing that may make a big difference about. I always laughed. Bishop McManus was here before Bishop Darcy, and he was an absolute extrovert. So when he said something, you didn't have to even think about it because he was just thinking. The decision was coming later. Bishop Darcy, when he said something, that was it. He had finished the thinking. That was the result. So we have those kind of things, but we just go with that. That's no big deal. And of course, Bishop Rhodes is just a good father to us, and was a very smart man, and has kind of a broad picture. Not much minutia. He lets his staff take care of that. He's going to give us vision and direction.
Mm-hmm. I imagine when I take vows to be faithful to my wife and that we're going to work together on things, she may change over the years and have different opinions on things, but probably not as much as whenever you take vows of obedience to a bishop, you're not only taking vows to obedience to the bishop that's currently the bishop, but whoever may be the replacement in the future.
When I was teasing with Bishop Rhodes. I hope he takes it as a tease. He called me and said I had to come here kind of on a quick notice. And so I said to him, I remember kneeling on the floor of the cathedral and telling Bishop Pursley that I would be obedient to him and to his successors. Now, if you are the legitimate successor of Bishop Pursley, I will go. He just, that's what a nut I am,
So what have been some highlights in your years as a priest? Anything stand out as a particular event or something you were able to do or be a part of?
No, I wish that I had memories of events. No, I don't mean that. There are many, many things that of great joy to me and opportunity to do things. But, tomorrow's going to have some too. And I guess that'll be my focus. So I like so many things. Working way in the beginning, we did stuff with Mary's Encounter that I enjoyed. Subsequent to that, did a lot of things with Christ Renews His Parish. That's going on still many places in diocese, and those are fun. I had an opportunity when I was younger to be invited to give little spiritual talks across the diocese there, and so that's all been wonderful, and I like it.
All right. Well, it's been a delight talking with you. The food has been delicious. We've got one more cupcake to try. Next week, we'll do the angel food cake, which you're guessing is going to be your favorite?
Well, we saved it last because we want to be near the angels.
We won't become angels.
Oh.
Right?
Well.
We become saints. We don't become angels.
Well, we might. Right? If we eat a proper cake.
If we are what you eat, then there's... I like it. All right. Well, our special thanks to Banditos for underwriting Flavor of the Week, and a special thanks to Father Bill Kummer for joining us today and sharing a little bit of your wisdom with us.
Thank you very much, Kyle.